something very brief compared to that. I think Lorraine did a great job of getting into the details. Before I go any further, actually, I'm Ray Sarinelli, for those of you who haven't met me. I work with Nisavacia. We're the auditors appointed for 21. Just to give you a little bit of perspective, since we haven't worked together before, like I said, Lorraine did a good job of getting into the details on things. As a CPA, I'm independent of management, so I can't make those management type of decisions like what insurance plan you should join or how many DPWs workers you should have, things like that. What I can do is help you interpret those decisions, how they affect you financially, and what that's going to mean moving forward. So that when I look at your budget, I don't look so much at the fine details, but more big picture, planning, those types of things. And so when I look at this budget, it's really good at meeting needs of this year. We're coming off of a tough year, and we're continuing on, obviously, through the pandemic. We're still in quite a tough spot to really know what the future is going to hold. So, I know that there was in my priority put on having no or low tax increase. So that's what this budget is. And so something that I look at going forward is the long-term planning, the financial stability, and trying to help you with your long-term goals. So as Lorraine said, you made a huge investment in capital last year. You drew down on fund balance. What are we going to do going forward, and how do we keep the financial stability of the town moving forward? And that's looking at capital planning, debt service planning, tax planning, things of that nature. So those are things that I'd like to work with you on moving forward. But overall, this is a good budget for this year, trying to come in with the goal of having a low to no tax increase. So just kind of my thought on the budget, and obviously, as Lorraine had mentioned, any questions I'd be happy to help you with.
If any of the public have any questions, feel free at this time. You say anything, Ron?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Mr. Sarinelli, how long do you think that we can continue? Because all I see in the budget presentation, Lorraine, which was very wonderful, how long can we maintain at a 0% increase while all of the other costs are going up? Because when you're talking about raises, right, there's a natural raise, a 3% cost of living or whatever it is. So how long can we maintain at a 0% increase, which is fantastic as a resident and a taxpayer, I love it. But how can we maintain that with everything else going up? And from what I understand from Lorraine's presentation, our fund balance is now getting depleted, which, I mean, for me makes me a little nervous, but I'm not the financial lady. So how long can we maintain that?
I used to be able to look at a balance sheet and look at a budget and tell you in a few minutes, what everything would be. The last year and a half has been incredibly difficult to make predictions or make assumptions on things, because things are constantly changing. When the pandemic happened, our entire company, the entire state of New Jersey was incredibly concerned. How are we going to collect taxes? You just heard that your tax collection rate went up. Mm-hmm. So those kinds of things, it is very hard to predict. The fact that you've had 3 years in a row with little or no tax increase, it would be very hard to continue to sustain that without having to reduce taxes going forward. So I would say you're probably close to that point where in next year's budget, it would be very difficult to come in with no tax increase and still being able to maintain the amount of services that you have. So while there are things that, I know you are all working on, some pilot agreements and other things that are in the works that are hopefully going to help with revenues, just the fact that you said expenses continue to go up and you haven't had a tax increase for 3 years, it's going to put pressure on the tax rate moving forward. That said, we could be sitting here next year and a lot of things might have changed.
Oh, of
And
course, look
no.
what happened in the last
So-
year.
Right. So I would say you're very close to nearing the end of having low to no tax increase, but you know, over the last year I've learned to never say never, and we'll see what happens over the next year or so and see what the budget comes in at next year.
Got it. Thank you so much.
It also depends on.
I would like
Sorry.
to ask a question. Lorraine, what is our fund balance for next year going to be? You're muted.
Yeah, I know. I can look through my computer now to see if I have my study of it. I think I have it on my budget copy.
The reason why I'm asking is because the Finance Committee and many of us on the council have discussed that we want to bring that fund balance down into a tighter position. And, you know, Jen, I just want to let you know that that's what we've been trying to do. And this is part of the reason. Moving forward, Ray is correct. We're going to have to really watch our dollars and see where we go. But part of the other flip side, the revenue end, you know, we're hoping that we're going to get some new building or commercial in, which will help the bottom line.
Yeah, and I like the hope, but you know, that's, and was there a plan in place to lower the fund balance from one number to another? Was there like
We discussed it.
over a couple of years or over a couple of months or a year or?
Yes, we discussed it and we've been working towards doing it because the fund balance was higher and we thought
Right.
it was too much.
Right. So do you remember the plan, what it was and what it was supposed to be and over how long?
I don't have that right in front of me or whatever, but I mean, just to drop it down over the last few years. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Right. And are we there, Lorraine, where we were supposed to be?
We're close. We're close to what our goal was. We're in the range of what our goal was. We still have a little bit more that we can drop that down. As of where we ended the year of 2020 and where I'm anticipating we'll end 2021, we'll be about $300,000 later in fund balance at the end of 2021. If everything stays back where we are right now. Again, that's not quite a crystal ball. It's a little bit of an educated guess, but there's a lot of things that could happen between now and then that would totally change that. But as of the end of the year where I think we're going to be very close to our range. We'll be right there.